Okay. Hi, everyone. How's it going? So I wanted to just do this live here because I think it's just because I kind of wanted to share some information with all of you that I think would be beneficial. So um, this semester is pretty much over at the university, and I thought what I would do is I would share some tips that I use um, that I share with my students in terms of helping them become more productive. So one of the things that students complain a lot about is that they just never have enough time to get things done. So they always tell me that, hey, they got assignments due, they got papers to do, and they still have to study, do their homework, and things like that. So this is very common even in the workforce. In the workforce, a lot of people will say, I got a family, I got to drive my kids around everywhere, and I still got to go to work. And I still got work responsibilities and things like that. So there's a lot of issues that people have when it comes to managing their time. And now, a lot of us are kind of isolated at home. So, we may think that, we have less running around to do, but then at the same time, we have a lot of other things to consider as well. So, one of the things that I thought would be very valuable would be to kind of show you how you could actually improve the way you use your time. And so the first thing I want to do is just explain to you that the traditional definition of time management actually isn't very conducive to you guys actually being productive. So the traditional definition of time management is, you schedule time during the day and you allocate time during the day to get stuff done. And I found that that's actually not very productive because even though you've scheduled time to get stuff done, what guarantee is there that you're actually going to do the thing that you have to do? So the definition of time management as we know it, I think, is actually the problem. I don't think we're using or we understand what time management actually is. I actually think time management is really about energy management or people management. So how do you manage yourself? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some ideas and some ways to sort of look at time management in a very different way. So the first thing I'd like you to do here is understand that this old definition of time management, which is scheduling time to get stuff done during the day, is probably not the best way to do it. What I would suggest you do is you start looking at ways, looking at time management in a different way. What I would do is and what I've told my students to do and what I've done actually is I've actually redefined what time management means. So in my definition, time management is really two things. And that is being able to have the right levels of energy as well as following success habits. So if you, first of all, know what a success habit is, which I'll explain, and if you couple that with having the right levels of energy, then you'll start to see tremendous results right away. So when I'm talking about energy, what I'm talking about here is that you want to make sure that if you are going to attempt any task, you're feeling at a level, emotionally, you're excited to do it. You're not tired. You're not lethargic. You don't feel lazy. And you have that, how do I say it? That desire to kind of get it done, and you feel like you can get it done, right? So that's what energy means. And I'll explain to you in more detail how you can actually build this thing called energy. And then the other thing that you need to do is develop these success habits. So a lot of times people say, well, I have success habits and I make my bed in the morning and I eat a healthy breakfast and all that stuff. So those are great habits to have. But you want to get more specific. What you want to do is you want to start thinking of, okay, what's one goal you want to achieve? So I always use the goal of, going to the gym. So a lot of people say, well, I want to go to the gym and I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, great. So now you want to start thinking, okay, if you want to lose 10 pounds, what's the one thing that if you did every day could help you achieve that goal? Okay, what's the one thing that if you did every day would allow you to, meet your goal of losing 10 pounds? So a lot of times people will say, well, if I just, did more cardio, I would be more successful. Okay, great. And I would agree. I think cardio is a big factor. But there's other individuals who might say, well, if I build weight, I think that's going to help. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. If you build weight and you lift weight, if you build muscle and lift weight, then you're actually going to find a way to increase your metabolism as well. So what these individuals will do is they'll go to the gym and they'll do a bit of cardio, they'll do some weights, and then what they'll do is they'll stop. And then they'll go back 3 days later or a week later and they'll do it again, and then they'll stop. And then they'll do it again, but then this time when they do it, they're on their phone chatting. And I see this all the time when I go to the gym. They're on their phone, they're chatting, and then they'll do a couple of reps, and then they're like, okay, I'm done. And then they'll wait a month because things got really busy, and then they'll go back to the gym. And then they're like, you know what, see, it's very hard for me to lose weight. And the reason why it's hard for them to lose weight is because they knew what to do. The problem is they didn't make it a habit. So if they understood that, hey, if they just went to the gym every day, or at least 80% of the time, went to the gym and just did the lifting of the weights and just did the cardio, and that's all they did, if just they made it consistent and they made it a habit, just like brushing their teeth and getting dressed in the morning, if they just made it a habit, I am not joking, probably in about 2 weeks, they would start to see benefits. 2 weeks. And the reason for that is because they've developed that habit on what to do. Now, if you're not developing the habits, then what's going to end up happening is no matter how hard you work, you're not going to get the result because the habit is not in play. So you want to start thinking of the habits. Now, if you go to the gym and even if you're following the right habits, but you're feeling lazy, you don't have the energy to lift the weight, you don't have the, the desire to be able to get stuff done, then even if you know what to do and even if you are doing the habit, you're not going to be successful. So this is why your energy is very important as well. So this is why you have to equate time management with high energy levels as well as with following success habits. And you can apply this in all areas of your life. If you're a salesperson, maybe the habit for you is to get onto a new call and talk to a new prospect every day. If you are a teacher, maybe you want to study how you can deliver information in a better way. If you're an entrepreneur, maybe you want to decide how you can actually figure out how to, make your product better on a regular basis. But none of these things are going to be possible if you don't actually have the right levels of energy to do so. So how do you develop this energy? What do you do? How do you actually figure this stuff out? So here's some tips. One of the things that I think would be very valuable is to look at your schedule during the day and see where do you have the most high levels of energy. And usually it's in the morning for most people. So if you're like most people, you get up in the morning, you have energy. What I normally would suggest is that's the time you have to get the thing done that's most important to you. So maybe what you want to do is you get up in the morning and you go for that workout first thing in the morning because that's when you have the highest level of energy. And you start following the right habits of making sure that you stretch, you work out. When I say workout, what I mean is you kind of warm up and you start doing the right things to help you be successful in the task that you need to do. So you know the tasks that need to be done and you do it at high levels of energy, which is usually going to be in the morning for most people. And usually when you work out in the morning, your metabolism is actually going pretty strong during the rest of the day. So if you can incorporate working out in the morning, that's probably one of the best things you can do if you want to lose weight. Now, on the other hand, some people might say, well, I have a lot of work to do in my business and I can't do it in the morning. I got to do it at a certain time during the day. So that's fine. But what you want to do is you want to schedule the time during the day when you actually have the most energy and are the most productive. So maybe that's not right after lunch. Okay. Maybe that's not right after you've had a big meal and your energy levels are really low. So maybe you want to schedule doing the most important things later on in the evening. Some people are night owls. Maybe they want to schedule things to do in the evening so they can go ahead and just sort of get stuff done when their energy levels are a bit higher. And I see some people coming on, which is great. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. So Farhana saying meditate. Yeah, so this is a really interesting one. If you are somebody who wants to feel more spiritually connected, or you feel more, or you feel, let's say, overwhelmed by everything that's going on, and you just want to feel less overwhelmed, you want to feel more in touch with yourself and how to actually accomplish things, then meditation, if you can incorporate meditation in your life and you do it every day for, let's say, even 15 minutes, you'll start to notice a tremendous difference in your life. Your anxiety levels are going to go down. Your confidence levels are going to go up. Your ability to think clearly is going to improve. You're going to come up with really crazy ideas on how to solve problems that you never could solve before. More grounded. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Farhana. So all these things are going to happen, but you got to make the habit of doing it. Okay, so it's not a one-off. It's got to be a habit. So right now, during the isolation that we're all in, this is an amazing time to create some really, really good habits. So what I would do is actually start thinking of what habits do you want to incorporate on a regular basis. So here's probably the best way I've ever found on how to create some good habits. Okay, number one is try to come up with the goal that you really want to achieve. Like, what's the number one goal that you really want to achieve? So you want to get really clear on what this number one goal is. So think about it. What is it? You want to lose weight? Do you want to actually be more physically fit? Do you want to be able to be better in your company? Do you want to be a better husband? Or do you want to be a better wife? Whatever it is, think about what that thing is, okay? And when you figure out what that thing is, then think of what's one thing that you could do to get better in that area, okay? What's one thing you could do to get better in that area? And let's say, I don't know if somebody has an example, let me know, but let's say somebody wants to become a better spouse, okay? They're not a good spouse because they're always working all the time, and now they're at home, and now they want to become a better spouse. So maybe the one thing you could do here to be a better spouse is to practice listening more to your family members. That's it. If you just listen more to your family members, you would see a dramatically better result in your relationships. Not by doing more, just by listening more, you'd see a dramatically better result. So maybe what you do is every day for 15 minutes, you get together with your family and you just ask them how they're doing. That's it. And you just listen. That 15 minutes a day is going to take your family relationships to the next level. Okay, so that's just one idea. Whatever other idea you think it is, get clear on that goal and then think of one thing that you can do daily to get better at that thing, and then you'll start to see tremendously better results. So here's some other results. Here's some other habits you could do, okay? If you want to lose weight, maybe what you could start doing is just going for a walk every single day. Okay, no matter rain or shine, bring an umbrella. Okay, the weather is warming up now, so go for a walk every single day. Let's say you wanted to increase your knowledge in a certain area. Read 15 minutes a day. That's it. And in fact, I got to be honest with you, when I was failing in school, what I did was I picked up a book by Tony Robbins, and it was a really long book. And what I did was I felt overwhelmed. I don't know if I could read it, but what I ended up doing was I promised myself I would read 1 page a day. 1 page a day. And as I started reading that 1 page a day, pretty soon in a month, I got through chapter after chapter. And just by making a commitment to read 1 page a day, my knowledge and how my brain worked and how learning worked and how to actually start modeling successful people all started to get downloaded in my mind. And I can honestly tell you that I ended up getting a 4.0 grade point average just because I committed to that. So here's some ideas on how you can create these habits. Now, Al-Karim asked, okay, how do you develop these high levels of energy throughout the day? So my response to you, Al-Karim, is that you want to think of your energy level as if it's a depreciating commodity. Okay, think of your energy level as a depreciating commodity. So what that means is that you get up in the morning, and usually for most people, the energy levels are really high. So that's when you want to start doing the things that are most important, okay, because your energy levels are really high at that time. If towards the end of the day, you got important stuff to do, but your energy levels are low, it's going to be very, very difficult. And so this is why a lot of times people struggle, because they're like, I work so hard and I'm not able to be successful, is because the energy levels are so low. So something that could take them maybe half an hour to get something done is now taking them 2-3 hours to get something done because their energy levels are very low. And when I mean energy, there's two types of energy. Okay, there's like spiritual energy. Okay, there's like energy which, and maybe it's all the same thing, but this is the way I define it in my mind. There's spiritual energy which comes from the universe, and that gives you that creative power to get stuff done. So that's one way of looking at energy. Another way of looking at energy is just when you get up in the morning, do you feel excited? Do you feel like you have the power to get stuff done? So those are the two ways I would suggest those are the two things I would look at in terms of getting your energy levels high. Okay. And like I said, exercise gets your energy level high. Meditation gets your energy levels high. Doing the thing that you don't want to do gets your energy level high as well. Okay. So a lot of times people say, well, I'm not motivated. And motivation is not a feeling problem. They think it's a feeling problem. It's actually doing the thing problem. If you do the thing that you know you got to do, you'll start to notice that your motivation goes up dramatically. And then that's how you start building momentum. Okay, so I didn't want to make this a long talk. I just wanted to share a tip with you because I just started, I finished marking the assignments and the final grades of all my students. And I noticed that this was one thing that a lot of students got value from, which was learning how to improve their time management. Okay, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it into the comment box and I can share this knowledge with you. Okay, or anything else that I can try to help you with. Okay, have a great day, guys, and I'll post this up so you guys can review it. Okay, and feel free to share it with people who you think it can benefit. Okay, have a great day, stay safe, and feel free to stay in touch and do a great job at whatever it is that you have to do, because when this pandemic thing is over, this is a great opportunity for you to actually become smarter, be more capable, and just be a better human being than you were before the pandemic. And that's one of the best mindsets I think I've ever heard in terms of the reading and the work that I've done. Okay, take care, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.